Time for a new Q&A video. Let's talk about what to do when you don't like your quilting. Hi there, welcome to a new Q&A video on the Sugaridoo channel. My name is Irene and on this channel we talk about quilting, tips and tricks, tutorials, and today we're doing a Q&A question. We got a question from Monica and she asks, what do you do when you're doing ruler work quilting and you're not happy with the way it looks? What do you do? So that happens. You quilt a quilt, you have an idea in mind. I am going to do this pattern, I'm going to use these rulers. You start out quilting and then, well, you're not sure if you really like it. So there are two options that you have actually. You can either rip it all out and start over, or you can continue quilting. And those are kind of, well, maybe you can also alter the quilting that you're already doing. But let's talk about these two extreme options first, the ripping everything out or just continuing. And I have this problem as well. When I have something in mind for the quilting of my quilt and it doesn't work out, it depends for me how far I am on the quilt. So let's say I want to do, well, for this quilt, for my Happy Notes quilt, I did circles. And let's say I was working on that and I would have done, I don't know, maybe one row of quilting. That kind of is the moment that I take a step back, look at my quilting and try to figure out if I'm happy with it. And this is quite difficult because you don't have a big patch of quilting yet. So you don't know the overall look. But you get some idea of the pattern. So I try to do not as much at first, so maybe one row or one small patch or one block of a quilt, and then take a step back and see if I like it. Because when there's more quilting done, oops, I had my foot in my box. Because when there's more quilting done, it's harder to pick everything out. So that kind of goes towards my answer for this question. So when you don't have too much done already, when you did one row, when you did one block, it's still kind of unpickable. So then I hope I can see that I don't like it before I do too much, and then I will unpick it. When I'm not happy, when I'm really in doubt, is this going to work? Then I unpick it. I unpick the stitches on the top, and then when you do a part of that, you can pull on the thread on the back, and then all these stitches will unravel. It's quite some work to unpick a whole row of quilting, but it is worth it when you're really in doubt, when you're really not happy with the way it looks. And what if you're halfway through a quilt and then you figure out you don't like it? Well, then I kind of see it like a learning point. So then either I'll just continue quilting it and, well, make a mental note that it didn't work and try to figure out why I don't like it, why it didn't work, so that I can use that for the next quilt, for designing what kind of quilting you want to do on the next quilt and why you didn't like this one. What is it that didn't make it work for you? But when it's already halfway done, I will continue quilting it. Because with every quilt there are some imperfections that you don't like, and there are some things that you can learn from. And yeah, for me personally, unpicking half a quilt, I'm not going to do that. So I hope I'll figure out that I don't like it sooner. And maybe there is the middle way of altering what you're doing. Maybe that's an option. And so for example, this quilt is quilted with circles. This quilt, by the way, is my Happy Notes quilt. And yeah, well, let's do a little announcement for that because the quilt along is about to start. We're doing a quilt along for this complete quilt. It is the quilt for my book Happy Notes, this book. And that book is available on my website, and the kit for this quilt with all these fabrics as well. And we are doing a quilt along starting at the end of November. You can join in, you can get the ebook if you'd like, or the hard copy book, and you can join in and make this quilt with us. We will be sewing for a year together with live videos where you can ask your questions, where we are sewing together, where you can get some tips and tricks on foundation paper piecing. So I would love if you join. So there is a sign up link in the description down below, and you can also go to sugaridoo.com/happycall to join this quilt along. Yeah, so end of the service announcement. So for example, when you quilted a pattern with circles like this and you're not completely happy with it, maybe you can alter it. Maybe you can fill in some of the circles. Maybe you can play with the design that you already did and add some lines to make it more to your liking. So yeah, altering the pattern could also be an option. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. Yeah, so 2 options. Go ahead or rip everything out. That's it for this week's Q&A video, and I'll see you again next week, and I would love to see you with quilting with us in a quilt along. Thank you so much. Bye!